Hello guys, welcome to another edition of the Masters Fantasy Football League's Dynasty Spotlight Series. Before we hop into today's show, just to remind everyone, hop into a dynasty. Hop into a new dynasty league. We got a fresh one filling right now. Loads of fun. Never folded a single one. So come join us, be a part of the Masters Fantasy, and let's play some dynasty football. So to kick off today's show, we're gonna hit up Florida wide receiver Kadarius Toney, one of the most electrifying players in college football. His height and weight varies a lot, but 5'11", 190 is about, the average numbers you'll find out there. So we'll go with that until we get some official heights and weights of the combine. But Kadarius Toney, want to break him down for us, Dak?
Sure. So Kadarius Toney, in a word, Alec kind of said it already, but he's electric. He's a playmaker. All over the field. He can play any position that I've seen. And really what we see with him is that playmaking ability, the speed, the run after the catch ability, and he can even go deep ball too, make a lot of plays there as well. The guy can do just a little bit of everything. He's got some areas in his game that could obviously use a little bit of refinement, but that speed, that ability after the catch to make guys miss and then just turn on the burners, not many guys have that, and Kadarius Toney does. Instantly, he'll be a big play threat in the NFL. And just thinking about his pro player comp, personally, when I've watched him play, he kind of reminded me a little bit of KJ Hamler from Penn State a couple of years ago. That was kind of before I realized that Toney was listed about 3 inches taller than 2 to 3 inches, depending on where you see it, and he's obviously a little thicker too, based on those listings. So I'm interested to see where he ends up at the combine with that height and weight. But I think their style of play is very similar. And another one that I thought of is that Florida connection, Percy Harvin. Again, a good ability after the catch, being able to take those little dumps and take it 80 yards with speed and moves, and also the ability to take the top off of defense. Kadarius Toney is a really good player, and I'm very excited to see where he ends up in the NFL. And I think those are good comparisons for him too. Yeah,
I love the comps. KJ Hamler was a guy who came to mind for me as well. Another guy who his game reminds me a ton of is Deebo Samuel. Just big-time playmakers in college. You get the ball in their hands quick, and they can make a lot of plays after the catch and can get downfield as well. I think he's actually faster than Deebo, but just a lot of the same. Yeah. Just plays with some extra toughness. Just guys you can manufacture some touches to and just let them do their thing. Another name that came to my mind was Tavon Austin, who obviously was electrifying in college. Didn't really live up to the hype we wanted him to in the NFL, but that's just kind of part of it. But I've seen him going late first round in a lot of mock drafts out there. He actually had a really good week of the Senior Bowl. I don't know if anyone tuned into Senior Bowl practice, but
a little bit.
Yeah, was getting some good reviews. Seemed like he was getting some good separation. So that's good to see, because I think a lot of times with those speedsters and just college playmakers, sometimes they're not great route runners coming into the league, but he seemed to impress at the Senior Bowl in that sense. So I think that's an exciting sign, and could definitely help him break into the first round. And I guess that'll just lead me right into my first, perfect destination for him would be late first round Green Bay Packers. I think they're desperately needing, a second receiver to go along with Devontae Adams. Aaron Rodgers has been practically begging for one. And on top of that, Deebo was a big comparison for me. And, Matt LaFleur spent some time with Kyle Shanahan. I think it's all very similar to the McVay, the Shanahan, the LaFleur systems all have a lot of intertwined schemes. And I think Kadarius Toney is just a guy Matt LaFleur could use in a lot of different ways. I think Aaron Rodgers would love it. And, had they had him a year ago, maybe they would have been playing in the Super Bowl.
Maybe.
They were a playmaker away from beating the Bucs, it seemed like.
Right.
So, I don't know. I think Kadarius Toney of the Packers could be a great spot.
Yeah, I like that a lot. And even though Marquez Valdez-Scantling's kind of been their deep threat, I feel like Toney just adds something to that offense that they don't have. I think he'd be a great compliment to Adams. So I really like that one. It was one of the destinations I had as well. The other one that I had, though, that I really like is the Saints. It seems like they're going to have a new quarterback. I'm not really sure what's going on there, because it seemed like Breeze was going to retire, and now they restructured his deal. So not sure who's going to be the quarterback there. But that being said, I feel like a mix of Kamara out of the backfield and then pairing him with Michael Thomas, I think they complement each other really well. And again, Sean Payton's really good at using guys in creative ways. Toney would be able to make a ton of plays in that offense. And just thinking about it makes my mouth water a little bit. I really like that spot if he were to end up there.
Yeah, actually what I think about Green Bay and the Saints, too, is they really just need some, like, horizontal threats to their offense. I mean, Kamara can do it, but, they like to get him going north and south as well. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Michael Thomas is just kind of, a true X-receiver. But to have a guy like Kadarius Toney who can just, go in motion, zip across the field, some jet sweep action, I think it'd be, just add another element to an already exciting offense.
Absolutely.
And it could be what they need to get back to a Super Bowl and just kind of put them over the top from a talent standpoint.
For sure. And another one I like, too, was the Falcons.
Ooh, yeah.
If he were to slip a little bit and you pair, there are a lot of people have said the Falcons might take a quarterback. So either Matt Ryan or your new quarterback, to put Kadarius Toney in a receiving core with Calvin Ridley and Julio Jones that's a nice way to get that new quarterback, kind of into the system a little bit.
Yeah,
so
that would jumpstart.
Yeah, that'd be pretty nice.
Yeah, that's exciting. So I guess this is the time of the show we start breaking down where we could see him going in your upcoming Summer Masters rookie draft. So let's pretend he lands to one of the spots we've mentioned, whether it's Green Bay, the Saints, or the Falcons, or anywhere else your mind pleases. Where would you see yourself taking Kadarius Toney in the Masters rookie draft?
Well, if he were to go, let's say he did go to the Packers or Saints, if someone's willing to invest a first-round pick in him, especially in a good situation like that, I mean, it'd be hard for me to not consider him in the middle of the first round. So I'm thinking mid to late first round is probably where he's going to end up. He's going to be probably one of the top 5 receivers taken, maybe. Yeah. At least he's being mocked that way right now. So, I mean, with that in mind, with that investment from a good team and a good offense, like a guy like Peyton or LaFleur that knows how to use these guys in creative ways, I mean, that's big on my book, so I'd even push him into that middle of the first round. But most likely, late first round is probably where he'll end up.
Yeah, actually I agree with the analysis a ton. I think all the reasoning's there for possible mid-first, but I think late first, like you said, probably a little more likely. And I think a big reason for that's just kind of the track record. With a lot of these smaller speedster college playmakers guys, we see them just not have a ton of fantasy success right away. And I think it's almost, as the fantasy football community, we look at it as like a knock on these guys and we get frustrated. But I think they're almost better true football investments than they are fantasy football investments.
Right.
Like I think he would do wonders for the Green Bay Packers or the New Orleans Saints offense.
Yeah.
But is he going to be a top 20 receiver? I don't know. In terms of the next year's fantasy output, I don't know. Obviously super young, so a lot of dynasty potential. But I love Deebo Samuel, but is he ever going to be a wide receiver 1? I don't know. It's possible, maybe. But maybe not.
Right.
So it's just one of those things. Great football player, super exciting to watch, but will he ever be a wide receiver 1? Who knows? Yet to know for sure. But I don't know. I kind of see him more as a gadget player. Oh, speaking of, Curtis Samuel is another one of the comps
there
I
you
have
go.
for him. Just kind of sparked in my head. And, Curtis Samuel actually had a pretty good fantasy year, but still wasn't great.
Right.
I just feel like
he had flashes.
Right. Those types of players, although they're very exciting, just kind of from a fantasy receiver standpoint, their ceilings are a little limited.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
So I guess late first is kind of our consensus feeling at this point. Yeah.
So that brings us to our final question.
That's true.
Will Kadarius Toney be fantasy relevant in 3 to 5 years? What do you think, Al?
So I guess going with everything I said, will he be fantasy relevant? Yes. Will he be a fantasy wide receiver 1? No. I think we'll be talking to him a lot like we're talking about Curtis Samuel right now. A lot like Deebo Samuel.
Yeah.
2 Samuels.
Oh, there you go.
What do you think?
I like that. I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think he's going to be one of those guys that's more of a boomer bust type of play every week. More a good thing for real football purposes than fantasy football purposes. But he's going to be a guy that can. He'll have those games where he just absolutely goes crazy, makes a ton of big plays, and then there'll be games where he doesn't do a whole lot. We've seen guys like Deebo and Curtis Samuel have similar output. Just like Alex said, I don't ever really see Kadarius Toney being a true number 1 receiver, but I do think he'll be productive here and there, and he'll be, a solid guy you can start here and there in your fantasy lineups.
Yeah. I think that's about all I had.
I think that's all I have as well.
Yeah, as always, guys, thanks for listening. Like I said, we got an upcoming Dynasty draft coming up, so if you're itching to get in a new league or join for the first time, highly recommend joining. Loads of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've said it before, and Alec has too. It's the best way to play fantasy football, and I'm not just saying that. It really is. So, yeah, go get yourself a Dynasty team.
Yeah.
Trust me. All right, guys. Like, subscribe, leave comments, all that good stuff, and we'll see you next time.
Take care.